Hello, I'm Avery or Hazel or Kylie. You can just pick one. I do not care.
Aloha, I am Lily.
Oh yeah, sure. Uh, and welcome to the From the Closet podcast.
Oh, sure.
Uh, today we are covering Leroy and Stitch, the final of the Lilo and Stitch movies, at least
We're
until they make a
done.
live action one, because they're
I
doing
don't
that
want to
now.
see that.
No, they're already doing it.
I don't want to see it. You can't make me.
I'm not even sure I want to watch it, honestly. Disney, stop doing this. But anyway, um, if you'd like to avoid spoilers for Leroy and Stitch, there will be a link in the description below to the Just Watch page for this movie, which itself will have links to all the places you can rent, purchase, or stream this movie with price comparisons for renting and purchasing. For us here in the US, it's available for streaming on Disney Plus. Also, in the description, you'll find a link to our Patreon where you can vote on future episodes of this show, as well as get access to episodes before they release, as well as early access to episodes of our sister show, Off the Shelf, which is about books. And that
And
podcast
it's
is
totally off the shelf.
exclusive to YouTube and Patreon. Also, in the description, you'll find a link to Anchor.fm, which is now Spotify for podcasters, which itself contains links to every platform this podcast is on, as well as links to our Instagram and Twitter, where you can be notified when we release new episodes. If you'd like to support us but can't do so financially, the best way to do so is by listening to our podcast on Spotify. Lily, will you please spin the wheel to determine what they can join us for later this week? And I hope the wheel is
My
spinning.
pain. My pain. Not only did I just put this on, it is also a movie that I did not want it be picked on, even though I'm the one that put it on.
Is it literally Spider-Man? Why did my brain go there? Is it literally Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Whatevers?
No, no. It's The Giver.
Oh. Okay, well you didn't just put that on. That was like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, but in terms of recording, that was only like 3 episodes ago.
But yeah,
Like, it wasn't that long.
I guess we're doing The Giver later this week. Um, you can join us next week for our free film day for September, as well as Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Who wants to who wants to hear me rant about book inaccuracy, is it?
I mean, they've heard me rant about book inaccuracies a number of times, so it would be a nice change of pace. But yeah, with all that said, please get out if you would like to avoid spoilers, because we are going to start talking about the movie now. And what a movie this is. Like, this is certainly a movie. It is one of the movies ever made. Truly a piece of film.
Absolutely. And honestly, Avery, I share the exact same feelings.
I mean, honestly, okay, if jokes aside, if I'm being real about it, I think of the three Lilo and Stitch sequels, this is my favorite one.
I'll be honest, yeah. Though the way I described it is like a good Wii filler game. Like, it's good, it can pass time, but you have to ask yourself, wait, this is just shovelware, isn't it?
I mean, I'm sure, like, I personally think it was fun and very much enjoyable. Quite funny, too. It was a lot funnier than I remember it being.
You can have fun
Especially,
with shovelware.
yeah, especially that one kid who just kept making jokes about Myrtle's dad. God, like, that shit killed me. But yeah,
And
go
and
ahead.
it's obvious that this movie is like the ending towards the series,
Yeah,
the TV series.
yeah, I imagine for children who are fans of the TV series, this was a really good like finale. Like from what I can tell, it shows all of the experiments that we saw throughout the entire TV series, um, most of whom have names I don't know. Like I know Angel and
There's no
Zappy.
fucking
I, I
there's no fucking way that there's 600 characters on in this movie.
I don't
Is
know.
there?
There sure are a lot.
Oh yeah, maybe okay, at least 50. I'll draw a line there.
There's got to be at least more than that, but yeah, I don't know. Um, I honestly really enjoy it. There's some interesting parts. The kill switch in the Leroy's was actually set up pretty well. Um,
Also, I'm sorry, are we just going to ignore how we put vinyl like a DVD?
you know,
Well, it's funny, I just could not. I just kept thinking about that.
it is kind of funny, yeah. I do like that they keep some things like consistent though, because one thing I complained about in Stitch the movie was that
Hmm.
they kind of dumbed down Lilo's personality and like didn't showcase her interests that much. Whereas in this movie, you can very clearly tell that they remembered like Lilo's love of Elvis and her love of photography. Like you can very clearly tell they remembered it. So I thought
Oh,
that was
and
nice.
I'm sorry. You mentioned Elvis. Another appearance of Stitch Elvis is always welcome.
Indeed. I had actually seen all three of these sequels like as a child. I didn't watch much of the
Hmm.
TV series, but um, honestly, like I enjoyed all three. I actually did not remember that 625 doesn't get his name until this movie.
Huh. Sandwich maker.
I am pretty sure it's Ruben.
Sandwich maker.
That's you.
No, Avery. I will not keep making you sandwiches.
Keep.
I said too much.
Yeah.
The slingshot is too expensive.
But anyway, yeah, it was something I didn't realize. And I love that they kind of set up the idea that Lilo was going to turn like someone against Hamsterville, and I thought it was pretty amusing that it ended up being Gantu. I still don't quite know how I feel about evil alien hamster mob lord, but it's
He
kind of
gets the
funny.
job done. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it's funny enough. I like the jokes about the rhetorical question, and then eventually, like Gantu flips it back on him. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Also, the joke with Leroy.
yeah. I
When everyone hears a name.
yeah. If I had to pick one thing that I think I would criticize this movie on is that uh, Nani and David are barely in it.
In fact, the fuck? Where the hell is David? I don't think they. Is David even in this movie?
He is. I don't think he has a single speaking line, but he is in the movie.
Huh. I know Nani has at least like 3 speaking lines.
Oh, and Cobra Bubbles wasn't in the movie either. He just had like a couple of speaking lines like over the phone. We never even see him.
Huh.
So like that's another character.
I mean, yeah, I think I know where all the character budget went to.
Yeah, all of the experiments, which admittedly have to be it has to be kind of tough to animate all of that. So respect for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Uh, Something I noticed, like this movie doesn't quite open with the theme song from the TV show. However, the opening credits have like an instrumental rendition of it. And then later
Hmm,
in the movie, when Lilo's going around and checking on all of them, uh, they play a cover of it. So
interesting. So that's what that was.
yeah, so I thought it was interesting. But then they have a rendition of Aloha Oi later on in the movie, which I thought was pretty cool as well. And it's like
I
the
mean, yeah,
main,
this movie is just Lilo and Stitch. Aloha.
yeah, like I don't know, it's fun, and I feel like that's all it needs to be.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there are some
There's
moments where like it tries to get emotional, and I'll be honest, it sort of kind of lands and sort of kind of doesn't at times.
it kind of lands, but not in the way that you would expect. I'd say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I imagine it would land more if you had watched the TV show, but neither one of us did that. Uh, but I don't feel like we really lost that much from not watching the TV show.
I didn't want to. I saw how long the TV show was, and I don't feel like it
Yeah, that's
ever. Actually, I'd have to be really fucking bored to watch that TV show to completion.
yeah, I don't know. Like we it I don't think it's longer than like Agents of Shield, but then again, Agents of Shield is fucking
Better.
fantastic.
I would just say better. Is
But yeah, I don't know. And I do think you were apprehensive about watching that show too. So,
I mean, that is true, but I mean, by the time you made me watch it, I wasn't even that into MCU in general. To say, like, oh, by the way, here's like an entire. I don't think. Isn't it? No, it's not an entire day's worth, but it is fucking long of episodes. Good luck.
yeah, like the first 5 seasons are like 16 hours long, so it's pretty damn close to an entire day's worth.
Half a day.
That's like two-thirds of a day.
I didn't want to do more fractions than I have to. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know how to say about the TV show. I mean, I haven't watched it, but I mean, I just imagine it just be standard Disney TV show, animated TV show, and that's fine. But I just not right now. I don't have the time right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it just didn't feel necessary because like I remember watching this movie as a kid and I didn't see much at all of the TV show and I still remember enjoying this. Um, it's certainly better than a lot of the other direct to video like sequels, but of course this was like by the team at Disney Channel or Disney Junior, I don't know. I don't remember which one. Either way, it was the television side of Disney.
Yeah, I wonder how many divisions Disney even has.
Too
Must
many.
be a lot.
Too many.
I mean, not even like what they own, just like the actual Disney.
Yeah, I don't know. Like and then lately I'm seeing things like I'm seeing headlines saying Disney abandoned the MCU and I'm like, no they're not. They're not abandoning the MCU. They just canceled a couple of projects.
But Avery, that's how they get clicks.
Yeah, I know. But they're going to get some people's hopes up, some toxic people.
Hopes hopes up? I'm sorry, what?
But yeah, whatever. This is that's an MCU discussion and we're on Leroy and Stitch, which is quite fun.
We're on we're on fucking I
Sorry,
mean that sentence just says it all. Like we're on fucking Leroy and Stitch. I honestly did not think we'd get this far.
you
We're, we're,
didn't?
we're covering like I mean I guess when we started the podcast, I think to myself, man, we're gonna be covering so many movies. I just cannot wait to be covering Leroy and Stitch.
I mean, I don't know how much, like, had you even heard that this movie existed when we started?
Fuck no.
See, like, this was one I knew about because, my family actually owned, like, physically owned all four movies. Um, Pretty sure on VHS at the time.
Huh. Wait, VHS was still around back then?
Yeah, VHS was only discontinued, like, in the late 2000s, I think.
Huh. I mean, then Leroy and Stitch would have been like one of the last ones. Because it's released in 2006.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was during a time period where like most people who like owned movies physically, they would have a combination VCR and DVD player.
I would actually want one of those. Just to have.
Yeah, it was something interesting. Thinking about it critically now, it is kind of like most of those machines were kind of weird because you would have to switch modes and it couldn't just play whatever you put in. You'd actually have to switch the mode before it would play anything.
I feel like I have a comparison for that, but I can't remember. Oh, by the way, so by the thing that you just told me, VHS existed in late 2000, just late 2000s, right?
Hmm.
That would mean VHS existed for a little while at the same time as Blu-ray. Fucking wild.
When was Blu-ray put out?
2005.
Okay, it certainly didn't get mainstream until like I want to say early 2010s. I had
Yeah,
never
but
I had
yeah.
never heard of anyone uh, owning any Blu-rays at that time period. Uh, in fact, I want to say Blu-rays didn't take off at all until the PS3 came out.
And that is when a lot of people knew about its existence.
But yeah, this movie, fun, good fun. It's funny, a lot funnier than I remember. The jokes about Myrtle's dad, for one, being something I love. God. And then, like, it was kind of funny seeing Myrtle being kidnapped with her with Gigi and like I don't know. It was kind of a Schadenfreude experience because like obviously I think Myrtle would be kind of traumatized by everything that happened in that finale.
Funny. It's funny.
Yeah, but in a
I like it when the kid gets traumatized. She deserved it.
someone's gonna take that out of context.
Probably.
uh, it's the internet, you know it'll happen. But yeah, I don't know. Like she did kind of come around at the end a little bit.
I also like how they circled back to Ohana there
Yeah.
at the end.
And they also like
And
circle back to where the beginning of the movie was, where they're like being awarded in like the Galactic Alliance headquarters and stuff.
you saved the world again.
Yeah,
Good job.
if it's us against the
Yeah,
universe, we win.
I love how um there's just so many references to the TV show where I forgot Who was the bad guy that was supposed to be the bad guy in the TV show?
I mean, Gantu?
Yeah, Gantu. Yeah, I just love how the references at Gantu just failed so many times.
Yeah. Love that. It's funny. I also love when like they were deciding what to name Leroy, and Gantu was like, "Nope, she's already used that, and that one too."
I mean, yeah, 600 names. It's gonna be hard to find an original one.
Yeah. I also love that they like referenced back a little piece of the lore that they established in Stitch the movie um, about Ruben actually having all of the same powers as Stitch.
Just being lazy.
Love that they like brought back that because the whole thing with like the reason Jumba created Stitch is because like Ruben was kind of considered a failed experiment because he didn't get the personality right.
But he did get everything else right.
Yeah,
He just makes sandwiches.
which is honestly still a mood. And I
Nah,
love
the mood is there's just 600, and he literally just comes into core in the first movie like, I would never make more than one. One?
yeah. And then proceeds to immediately call him 626 as and like let kind of letting the Galactic Alliance believe that that is just some random number. Sure.
I will be honest, I have wondered throughout this movie whether like what was 626 original meaning? Like did they actually mean like did they actually want to imply that there was 625 other experiments, or was that just an afterthought?
I mean, I suspect that they were implying that he was the 626th one. If there was
Hmm.
some other original meaning, we don't really have evidence for it. And I don't know what that meaning would be.
I don't know, maybe it's just like like a random number at the office or something. Like an inside joke.
I mean, an inside joke between him and who? Hamsterville? Because those were the only two people working on them.
No, I mean the movie.
Oh, I don't know.
Like it's
Maybe.
like it's just nonsensical meaning in the movie, but it's like something that the producers would know. Either way, like whether it was intended for this from the very beginning or they just fucking winged it, I will admit that they did take it and run with it quite
Yeah.
well.
And I love the creativity with the other experiments too. Like you have one with like ice powers, you have one with like electric powers. Of course, I think the electricity one was the one we saw in Stitch the movie.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I thought that was the one that drove the main plot of that movie. Um,
We also saw sandwich powers,
yeah.
Subway sandwich artist.
And then we also saw Angel, who basically, from what I understand throughout the TV series, kind of became a sort of love interest for Stitch.
That never came to be because this movie just forgot about them.
I mean, in the movie, like we do see her like show up and like beat a bunch of the Leroys who were attacking Stitch. So like there was at least that
Yeah, but
small.
they're still on Earth, and for a while, like a little bit in the movie, Stitch is like up in his new job, just forgetting about her. Like, I'm sorry, what happened in their relationship? Is
I,
there like,
I don't know. I feel like there's like I feel like if I had to guess, there are probably like episodes where like they're doing like development in the relationship, and then there are like loads of episodes after that where she's not even in the episode. That's what I would imagine.
and wasn't like him Impossible in this series as well.
Sorry,
I
what?
swear, like yeah, I swear, like when I was circling through the episodes of this series, I just saw Kim Possible.
I don't know. I do know that Stitch has appeared in many other Disney properties in weird ways. Like I know there's like times where Stitch has gone into the world of like The Little Mermaid or I think even The Lion King. Um and apparently even High School Musical.
Okay, first of all, actually, no, that makes no sense. The first one. Because it's established that Stitch can't swim.
Yeah, but he surfs.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, we see him surfing like in the actual first movie and everything. So I don't know. It's fun. They also, I do like that they didn't shy away from like Stitch's intelligence. I feel like there are times where you forget that Stitch is actually extremely intelligent.
I think he's extremely intelligent, but there's also like most of his intelligence is for violence.
Yeah. I mean, we do see him build a scale model of a battleship in this movie with like random like stuff he found around the kitchen.
I do love like a scale model of the red big battleship. Good job.
Yeah, like
Oh no, big red battleship. Sorry.
I don't know. It's there's some wild stuff that Stitch can do, like especially when you like dig into like areas outside of the movie, uh, like surviving black holes,
Yeah, surviving black holes, building scale model replicas behind you right now.
building mechs in seconds, because that's a thing.
Behind you within a mech.
Yeah,
Start running.
but I don't know. This movie, fun. That's all it needed to be. I think we're done with the Lilo and Stitch series. We're most likely not going to cover the live action. I mean, if someone requests it, like on the request lot, sure, but I don't think anyone will.
I look okay. If I asked one of my friends, like, "Hey, what movie?" and they said that, I'd be considering like, should I keep you as a friend? That'd actually be thrown in consideration. Like, should do we need to have a talk here?
Yeah, I mean, this is all like theoretical and stuff because the movie hasn't even been released yet, and it might get canned because of like everything going on. Like, there's not only a writer strike right now, but there's also an actor strike. So, like, Hollywood is kind of up in flames right now.
And also, like, they're making like what fucking 10. There's at least 5 live action movies that they're planning right now. I swear I heard something about Bambi live action.
Yeah, and I've seen like Tangled and Moana. Although I don't think
So
Tangled is like officially announced. I think that is mostly a rumor or a leak of some kind.
I think it was either a rumor or a leak, though it was real enough to get put on like their Wikipedia. And I don't know who updates that, but I'd at least hope they at least do 1% of research.
They usually do.
Don't
Wikipedia has gotten pretty like militant about making sure the information on their site stays accurate. They try to stay on top of
yes,
it.
don't go trusting random things on the internet, but like you can have like a little bit of a grain of salt while still thinking like, that could be accurate. So who knows?
Yeah, I suppose we'll have to see. But Lily, can you get into the critic ratings for this?
Hmm. Yeah. We're barely grazing our limit here, but though I guess we can talk about what the hell Rotten Tomatoes was smoking. IMDb gives this a 6.1 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives this a 40%. Common Sense Media gives this a 4 out of 5, and 83% of Google users like this movie.
Okay, see, I feel like Common Sense Media is around where I'd put it, because, like, 4 out of 5, that's basically an 8 out of 10. Um,
Mhm.
what the hell, Rotten Tomatoes? This is not a 40% movie.
Yeah, no.
Not at all. I'll give this a 7.9.
Avery, I want to ask you something. When you watch this movie, do you know what this movie has too much of?
Water.
Yeah, it has too much fucking water.
Okay, so
So I give
Lily's.
this a 7.8.
Yeah. God damn it. We're gonna make that joke every single time.
Oh, we are, and it's always gonna get old.
But yeah, you can join us later in the week for The Giver, and next week for uh, our free film day for September. We don't know what movie that will be yet, as well as Ant-Man and the Wasp. But with all that being said, I've been Avery, that's been Lily, and we will be seeing you.